Hello, it's Paul here again, and this is part 3 of my training for our Accelerate Fuel Tablet members, people in my group and other people that may get a benefit for it. So I hope you got a lot out of part 1 and part 2. I covered quite a lot there, but part 3 I'm going to try and whip through today on this one because there is quite a lot of information, but this is the one that's going to be the nuggets for you, I'm sure. Okay, so the next subject, as I mentioned on the end of part 2, was icebreakers. And sometimes we just need something short, simple, that we can say to people as we go into shops or go into petrol stations, or we go to work and we see someone sitting there and we say, oh, let's just break the ice, have a little quick chat. And that can make all the difference. So the icebreaker today, and I hope you're writing notes, okay, like I mentioned previously. And if you've jumped the first 2 videos and you've just come into number 3 and you haven't seen me before and wondering what I'm doing, if you wouldn't mind, would it be okay if you just subscribe, press the subscribe button, so that helps me with the algorithms. And most people would press the little bell. It's got a little ring thing round it. So if you do that, then it will notify you whenever I make a new video, and you can see firsthand that day when I make it. And hopefully I've got more value and some ideas for you that will help you with your business. It doesn't have to be the fuel business like we've got here. It could be any business, but the principles of what I'm saying and changing a few words around will make all the difference. I finished up in number 2, part 2, mentioning the word listen, because we all talk a lot. I talk a lot. Most people talk a lot, but we don't always listen. And just jumbling the letters around in the word listen, what do you get? Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. Put your pen down. It's actually silent. So if we listen to what people are saying, stay silent, we find out exactly what they want. And more often than not, we've actually got the solutions. So that's what I've got over the last 40 years. I go to many trainings, I've listened to many speakers, and I always take great notes. And so if you see me looking down here today, it's because I'm looking at one of my journals, one of my training books that I put together of speakers that I've sat in and learned this stuff. There's nothing special about me at all. Not a great speaker. I just do my job. That's what I do. But you haven't got to be. You haven't got to be super slick. You haven't got to be, all knowing, all singing, all dancing. You've just got to be willing to learn, and that's something that I've always paid attention to over the years. I read a great book by a guy called Dal Maloney, and it said I could have quit $7 million ago, and he actually did make $7 million in network marketing. But there was one bit in his book that I remember, and I really, to this day, that's got to be in the probably late 80s, early 90s when I read his book. And it said, never be so poor you cannot afford to pay attention. And I thought, yeah. So I've always paid attention, made notes, because the reason I make what I do so easy, which is home-based business, and I don't find it hard at all, is because I've taken notes and I just follow some simple things. The easier we keep it, the more simple we keep it, the more fun it is for a start. It doesn't become stressful, and the easier it is to duplicate, because we've only got so much time in the day, haven't we? So, we've got to try and leverage our time. And the whole thing about leverage is building a team, building an organization. Could be globally. I'm starting to go around the world now. I've only been in this 3 weeks, and I've got somebody in America, somebody in Australia. Hi, Matt. And bunch of good people here in the UK. But we're operating in 6 countries. We're in America, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand and the Philippines at the moment, and the next one to open, I'm told, is going to be France, which is going to be quite exciting. That's good. That's not too far from us at all. So have a think about this. Who do you know in those countries? Because they're suffering the same as we are. They have challenges, and the economy is going mad for them as it is for us. I mean, our base rate's just gone up again this week, so it's now 3%, and it's causing all kinds of havoc for people in their homes and everything else. And they're just constantly fighting to save money, and there's no way of making more money for most people unless they come and speak to us. And we've got a great way for them to make some extra money. And there's, how do you save money? Well, again, just speak to us, and we just got to listen. So, but if you look at people's jobs and things, take somebody that's earning, say, £50,000 a year. That's a good income, and in reality, There's not a lot of people, average people making 50,000 a year. But let's say, for instance, they got in 2023, they got a 3% increase on their salary. Now, it's not likely. It's likely to get 1% if you're lucky. But if they got a 3% increase, that would be £1,500 a year extra. Well, that's a nice holiday, isn't it? Now, look at your little part-time business here that we've got with Accelerate Fuel Tabs. £50 a week. That's not difficult to do at all with this business by saving people money, because they will immediately go into your website, click on either order the products themselves, so you'll make a commission on that, or they press the other button that says join now for free. And if they do that and order products at wholesale, you make an instant fast start bonus of $21. Well, 2 or 3 of them a week, and you've got your £50 a week. Now, £50 a week part time gives you £2,600. Now, 2,600 is better than 1,500, right? And you haven't even got a 50,000 a year job. What could you do with an extra £2,600? 2 great holidays, totally change of car. It could be a college fee paid, all kinds of stuff. New white goods. How old is that washing machine? How old is that cooker? What are some of the things you wanted to change around the house? You want to get a new set of bikes. Well, all this comes from part time. So let's get back to the icebreakers. Well, you know how it always rains on a bank holiday and on our day off, and you smile at someone and say, yeah, this is the word. This is what I want you to start with. The icebreaker says, well, you know how? 4 words. You know how it always rains on a bank holiday? Or when I have my day off and I go, yeah, and you smile at them and say, well, you know how 2 incomes are better than 1? Yeah. Well, you know how fuel prices keep rising? Would it be okay if you save 20% on fuel as an average? Well, yeah, that'd be okay. Good, we need to talk. There's your appointment. How hard was that? Well, you know how? How many times have we done that? Well, you know how? So it's not difficult. So we can also change that snowball effect that I mentioned in part 2, where you're just thinking, this thing's coming down a hill, and no matter what I say to people, I'm getting more no's than yeses. So hopefully with these 3 parts that I'm doing for you here, you're going to get a lot more yeses than no's. I know I do, and I only use what I'm trying to explain to you here. I use exactly the same every single day. If you go onto Facebook and look at some of my posts, you'll notice that when people ask me for information on the fuel tabs, because they do, how I respond. Would it be okay if you popped your email into incomedriven@gmail.com and I'll send you some information over? How simple is that? What did that take? 9 seconds? So have a look at my post and see how I answer people. I answer in the ways that I'm recommending that you do today. And from today onwards, it's nice and simple, okay? So could you learn that? Absolutely. It's just 2 words. We can change that snowball with those 2 words, and the only reason we don't use those 2 words because we didn't know them. Well, now you do know them. It's just 2 words, So let's get those 2 words sorted out, and the only reason you don't know those 2 words because we haven't learnt them, and but you learn how to use a brand new mobile phone. You learn how to drive the car, so it's certainly easy to learn 2 words, isn't it? Okay. Most people here would like to know what those 2 words are before I leave today. Okay. Most people would be pretty upset, I suppose, if I didn't say what those 2 words were, wouldn't they? Do you think that would be true? Most people don't realise until I go away that not knowing these 2 words would be that avalanche crushing again, wouldn't they? Okay. Anybody picked up on anything yet? Most people may have figured out what most people, or if you haven't figured it out, that those are the 2 words. Most people. It's a simple thing. Did you write that down? If not, just write it down. Just write down commas. Most people. Here's what's interesting. When you say most people, it activates that survival mode that I spoke in part 2 about in the back of the brain. Okay, in the back of the head. So when you say most people, people are thinking, well, do I want to be part of the most people or do I want to be part of the less people? Well, I don't think I want to be part of less people. I want to be part of most people. I want to be involved in what everyone else is, because that's the survivor mode. That's where it's safe and secure, right? So I want to be most of most people. I'm part of most people, okay, not less people. So they instantly made a decision. Remember I was on about quick decisions? It's done in the back of the mind in seconds. They make quick decisions. Well, they want to be more of most people, not less people, okay? So how would you use most people in a conversation? Most people would like to learn that now, right? Wouldn't you? Yep, good, okay. So are most people ready? Of course you are, okay, good. Most people join at the $60 entrance level. They get 3 of these, which allows them to have enough for their car and to use the samples. That's why it's classed as a sample pack. 3 of these, $60. That's what most people do. Most people think that automatic reordering makes perfect sense, because you wouldn't want to run out, right? I mean, one of the first things I did 3 weeks ago when I joined Accelerate is, as I was ordering, there's a little box there and it said click to subscribe. So I immediately clicked to subscribe, because my next batch of 3 is actually due out on the 6th of November. Another day, 2 days, and I've got some more coming to me. So I've been using some in my car. I've been giving some out as samples for people that got started. So they've actually got to use them. They have them actually. They've arrived now, so they're in their car while they're waiting for those. And the main thing is, you really want to click that subscription button, because you wouldn't want to miss out, and you don't want to run out of tablets, because then you're going to start paying retail prices again. So, if you're going to build a business through your family and friends and people you know, by saving fuel, it does make sense to subscribe to that. It's one of the best things that you can do. This is a business that's long term. I'm sure you really haven't come in and say, I'll give it a go, I'll try and see what happens. The difference between try and triumphant is the oomph. Okay, put a bit of oomph into it, get going. I was having a conversation with a friend tonight, and we were talking about this, and I just said, if nothing else over the weekend, just sit yourself down and say, I'm going to do this properly. This is what I'm going to do. This is who I'm going to contact. I'm going to make some new business cards, and I'll show you some fabulous ones that I think is going to make a huge difference. I've used that kind of thing before, so I know I need to make these again. And just plan the weekend out, instead of just watching all the dross that's on television. Plan the weekend out and say, I've got a new adventure that I've got started in, and I'm going to get this thing off the ground and get going with it. Because having that subscription each month, that guarantees your future income. I mean, everything in life that we do, it's not new. We use a subscription. We pay our mortgage monthly, our rent monthly, our cars monthly, telephone, mobile bills monthly, utilities monthly. Everything we do monthly. Well, we've got now a small running expense for our business here in Accelerate, and it's just $60, a month, to give us 3 packs of these fabulous things here, to make sure that we can show people how they can save a lot of money. So, does that make sense? Yes, it does. Hopefully it does. Okay. Now, most people can't wait to get the tablets in their car straight away. I couldn't. My friend David actually sent me a sample, and as soon as I got it, I went straight out to the car and put it straight in. I didn't need to be asking any other questions. I'd already done, in the time I was waiting for David to send me that tablet, I'd watched several videos from the company, and especially the one from the manufacturers, who talk about their 35 years in this, where they're supplying ships, and they're supplying cruise ships and things like that. Now, logic tells you, if this product is going to go into a cruise ship engine, I can imagine the cost of that engine. Nobody put that in there lightly. They haven't replaced one engine in 35 years. So do you think it's safe for your car? Absolutely. Are you going to listen to anyone that says, I'm not sure about that? I don't. I'm not in the convincing business. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they decided they don't want to put the tablet in the car, I don't argue with them. I don't talk about scientists. I don't talk about NASA. I don't talk about anything else that the company's done with this, because that person has already made a decision. Okay. Now, I've done my work. I've said, would it be okay if you save 20%? And you know what? Most people will They want to say the 20%. You're going to get a small percentage that don't. Don't worry about them. Don't try and convert anybody. Don't get involved. Just stay what you're doing and just stick with the most people. Okay. So to me, most people rocks. If you said to someone, most people want to pay wholesale, not pump prices. At the moment, the average where I'm living, sort of on the Nottingham-Lincolnshire borders, for diesel is £1.85 to £1.99 for diesel. So if it's £1.85, I'm actually paying £1.48 because that's my 20% off. That's what I've worked it out as. So whatever the price goes up to, it doesn't matter because we've got 20% off. If it comes down, it's even better. But the price doesn't matter anymore. So you look at the news every day. It seems to be full of doom and gloom. Everyone's struggling, right? Well, everyone except you. And this is what you've got to realise. You've got something here that's really simple but really good. An engine hasn't got a placebo effect. Okay, you can't pop that little tiny tablet into the engine and say, do your magic, do your magic. The engine doesn't know. It either works or it doesn't work. And do you know what? It works like a charm. This week I've realised that all the sort of pinging and stuff like that has stopped. And I was listening to a webinar the other day that was made in I think in Australia or Philippines. I think he lives. And he actually mentioned me. He mentioned me in my car. So he's obviously noticing some of the posts that I put in the group and also on Facebook. And he mentioned me and my little Volvo, that all that sort of juddering that I had, the engine was a bit lumpy, and I thought I'd have to sort of spend more money on injectors. Now, diesel injectors are not cheap, and it's not cheap to find someone to fit them. But I avoided all that just because I had that little tablet in my car, and over 2 weeks plus, it's silky smooth now. And the other day, I actually went to a clinic. I had a bad crash a couple of years ago, well, a year and a half ago now. And I had to go and meet a consultant because my neck is still not good and I'm still waiting for a payout. But on the way back home, I was trying to overtake a lorry and I could see the road was clear. And I thought, I'm not going to sit behind this lorry. And I hadn't really put my foot down in my car for quite a while because I don't go on many carriageways. And I put my foot down and it absolutely flew. It's only a 1.6 diesel, this little Volvo, but it just flew. Next minute, I'm touching 80 mile an hour and I'm thinking, I've got to slow this down. And I hadn't really noticed that. So that's like 3 weeks worth of this product. Imagine what 3 months is going to be like when your engine's really clean. So we're in the best position with a fabulous little product that actually works where people need it. They need to save money. And then they realise when they're saving money, what are they going to do? They're going to go and talk about it. People always love talking about something that they like or something that works. So, you initially engage them and they become a customer with you. They're happy because they're saving money. You're happy you've made a small commission. They're going to want more tablets and say, well, okay, I'm pleased you want more tablets. Do you want to pay retail or do you want to pay wholesale? No, wholesale is good. Great. Go back up to the website, click join. You can join for free. You can order the sample pack. Most people, including me, order the 3 sample pack for $60 plus postage. It's not a lot of money at all. It's a fantastic amount of money, really, for what we get. And you get 6 tablets in each sachet, which is 6 tanks worth. So that's 18 tanks full of fuel. It's a fantastic deal. And from that day onwards, when they become a free member, they're going to be saving, on an average, 20%. I was talking to someone the other day, they got 27%. That's just brilliant. I got a new guy just started in America. He'd only had the product a week and reported back that he got a 9% increase. And I said, well, that's great because it's only week 1. It's just starting to clean your engine. Imagine week 3, week 7, week 12, what that's going to do. That 9% is going to jump up to 20% like the rest of us, and maybe 25, 28%. So we couldn't be in a better position. So the recession doesn't affect us at all. Okay, we haven't got a money problem. We haven't got a recession problem. Okay, so, but most people in reality can't afford to fill their cars up these days. Have you noticed? Even my little Volvo, it's only a small car, but that would cost £90 to £100 to fill that up. Now, most people, they're putting £30 in the car. Now, if they do that, there's, you can see on the back, I don't know where you can see it quite clearly. I'll try and put it up to the camera. There you go. Can you see that the little squares, the little lines? You could actually cut that. It actually breaks very, very easily. You can break that into 4 quarters. So if you've put £30 in for, say, so many litres, you'd only need half a tablet, because people have got bills to pay. So they go and pay the bills. 2 weeks' time, they want another £30 in there. And they go and put the other half of the tablet in there. So just because they don't fill the car up, they're not going to waste tablets. They can just break it in half, keep it real simple. Okay? So most people rocks, trust me. Just use those 2 words, most people. Look at TV adverts. You get dentists on there. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend XYZ product. Well, 4 out of 5 is most people, isn't it? See how it works? We're listening to it and we see it every single day. And based on that, we make quick decisions. Okay? So most people, I think, are getting finding that things are harder to manage, and life in general, bills, everything, it's just getting harder to manage. Okay, so obviously most people are going to think 2 paychecks are better than 1. We've got the second one waiting for them to start. It's quite easy. I focus on retail, to be honest with you. I just want to get them started on the product, because the more you get someone started on the product, the more you can help them save money. What happens? They trust you. When people know and trust you, they'll look at something else. If you just go straight into the money side of it, that's where people are getting lots of no's. I would recommend don't do that. You'll have everyone in your business in time, but the less pushy we are, the more people want to come and work with us. I always like to work with people who are non-pushy. I hate pushy people. It's just not good to be around. So you don't need to do that. Okay, so I mentioned most people. Now, did you notice what I did at the start of this presentation, or the part 3 of this little training today? Did you remember what I said pretty much near the start? I said, if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, would it be okay if you click the subscribe button? Most people click the little bell with a little bit round it. You're going to rewind it back now just to check, won't you? But I did. That's what I said. I've got into a habit of using that, and it takes seconds, absolutely seconds. Okay, so most people find it easy to put most people into a conversation. Okay, so you've picked up on what I said in that video. Let me just turn that over there. Here we go. Okay, so as I said, who do you know in those 6 countries that we operate in? I bet you know somebody. Most people would like to save money on that, so just get in touch with them. Send them one of our little videos. People love videos these days. I think videos do far more than presentations ever used to. I'm just about to get my update out. I decided to do an update to sort of friends and people that are involved in this, so they can see some of the things I'm using. They can see some of the videos that they wouldn't ordinarily get to see because they're inside our Facebook groups. And as I mentioned in part 2, if you're not on Facebook, I know it's not the best thing in the world and it annoys people and it's a waste of time, but that's where people are. I went through a list today with a friend and said, look, from the people that have joined, there's quite a few people joined me in the last couple of weeks. I didn't ask a single one of them to join me, not one. I never said, have a look at this, you need to look at this, this is the best thing ever, you're an idiot if you don't look at it. Didn't do any of that sort of stuff. Do you know what I did? I posted little posts on Facebook showing how people could save money. So all I was doing was explaining what it was I was doing. I'm just showing people what I'm doing. Do you remember I said, people say, what do you do for a living? I'm in show business. I show people my business in different small segments. So use that, just put adverts out there, put little posts out there for people to save money. And the more people that do that, they go, hang on, I've seen 4 adverts this week. That's another person doing it. There's loads of people doing this fuel business. Most people seem to be doing it. Well, I'm the less people. Perhaps I want to be some of the most people. Last night, I was up late and a guy contacted me and said, I've seen your post tonight. What's this fuel tablet all about? And I said, hi, great. Good to connect with you. Would it be okay if you pop your email to me at incomedriven@gmail.com and I will get you some information across? And that was at 11 o'clock last night. And I did. And I was getting ready to go to bed because I do get up at 3 in the morning to go to work. But I do sleep during the day, so I do catch up. And before I went to bed, he's back in touch. I want to do this, he said. This looks really good. Have you got a link? Oh, okay. You're asking me for a link to join. And this guy's in the army. He's down in Dorset. And he's also in my primary business. He's also in on passive. I didn't, I don't think we've spoken before, which is great. But he was looking at my posts because obviously he knew I was in on passive. Probably seen me on the Leadership Council meetings over the last couple of years, and said, "Oh, that's Paul. What's he doing? What's his fuel tablet? Like, know, and trust." I've always done a good job with that company. Still doing exactly the same thing. Can't wait for it to launch soon, and it's going to launch real soon because the way that company operates, we are able to put any other business we've got on that platform. So I'll be able to put Accelerate onto the OnPassive platform, and I can actually targeted traffic to go to the 6 countries that we operate in and build a very large global business, which is what I plan to do because people need to save money, don't they? So that's what the plan is. That's what we're going to do. So how would you get business? How would you look for business? Some people say, well, I'll send emails out. Okay, what are you putting on your emails? Are the emails successful? I might run an ad. Okay, but you really need to spend money on running an ad. A lot of people don't have money to spend on adverts. Yeah, but everyone I know is kind of negative, and they just go, "Oh, all right, Dave, what are you doing now?" Have you heard that? We all get that. Okay, I quite like business cards. Now, the whole purpose of being, if you're in business, of having a business card is to get what? What do you want to get from it? You want to get business from it. And yet I see many business cards. I've collected business cards over the years. When I've looked at it, the person's name's on the card, their address and where they live is on the card, phone number, maybe an email address, sometimes a web address for their job, not their business. But it could be like, they could be a sales and marketing manager or something like that. Now, I've gone away, a week's gone by, I get that card out of my pocket and I'm thinking, what was this card for? What did that guy do? Didn't actually tell me, apart from where he lives, what he does. So a business card is designed to get you business. I've always tried to have mine a little bit different, where I put a message on the front. So on this one here, it's got, okay, can you see that? If you share a good idea often enough, it will eventually fall on good people. That makes people think. Also, the card is 2 colours. I quite like the white lettering, it stands out. On the back of the card, I have got a small message, and it just says I've got a simple home-based business, which will give them a part-time business, which will give them a residual income, no selling or recruiting required. And there isn't in this business. Now, I can get these cards out, and they will get a reasonable amount of response. You can leave them anywhere and put them out. You'll get some response with those. But what I've got is something a little bit different. Also, I like to mention on my cards here, and I do recommend that people try and do the same. I don't put my phone number on the card. They go, "Oh, your phone number's not on there." Why is that? It's deliberate. I deliberately don't put my phone number on there. I might have a web address on there, on the card, so they can go to the website, or I'd have an email address so they can contact me. Why? Because it keeps me in control. I can answer the email when it suits me. I don't get calls from people who are drunk on a Saturday night, and I don't get calls from people on a Sunday because I always take Sundays off, and there's a bone of contention. Some people don't think I should take Sundays off, and they still keep asking me questions. Not on a Sunday. You're not going to get me. Okay, so I don't put my phone numbers on them. Why? Because if they send an email, they're more serious than just start and say, "Well, hi, yeah, can you tell me about it then? What's it all about?" And you could be walking around a supermarket, you could be walking in a car dealership, you could be doing something with your kids. You don't want to be explaining what your business is about because you're not ready for it. You're not ready to have that little script in your mind. And you think, "Oh, what was it Paul said? Would it be okay? Or I've just got into a new business." No, they're the wrong 5 words. And you're not ready. As with an email, you're ready. So, that's one of the reasons I do that. But I like to do things a little bit differently and have different cards. So I'm just about to redesign a card that I used when I was living out in Spain. But the other thing is on the card, another reason I would only have my email address and a web address. Now, I've just recently got a splash page from somebody in the business, from one of the groups. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. What's a splash page? A splash page is one page where there's more written out, and there's actually videos on that page. So I found that when I do send an email to someone, my email is actually reduced because People don't like reading too much, because I was putting what I wanted to say in it, and I was putting video. You don't have to do that. There are several videos on that splash page, and there's a great one that shows you how quickly the tablet dissolves, and there's also another one showing you two bottles with a lit like a little candle, and it shows one treated and one untreated, and they just hold a little bit of paper over the top, and you can see all the black smoke, obviously on the one that's not untreated, but it's instant looking at that. Now that's where someone's going to make an instant decision. Wow, look at that, that's brilliant. So the splash page is really good. If you'd like to have a look at the splash page, I've attached it to one of my domain names. So if you go to www.savefueltoday.info, you'll see the splash page. So that's www.savefueltoday.info. You'll see that splash page. Towards the bottom of the splash page, I will have it for you in my update email, which I'll probably send out tomorrow now. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything to get in there, and it's really, really good. But I like the splash page, and also there's two boxes, and it says if a customer's looking at this, it can go customer. It differentiates the two. You're giving people two choices. I like that. Give people two choices. They're going to take one choice. They're going to do something. So on the left-hand side, they can have customer. On the right-hand side, it says become a member and get it at wholesale. So it's really good. So I'd recommend you have a look at that splash page. Now, the other one I'd like to do, the new business card I'm going to use, I used to use it when I lived in Spain. I got this idea actually from a network marketing millionaire. He's made several million now, from a guy called Frank. And Frank lost a lot of money. I think he sold his pickup truck in order to get the little business off the ground at the time. And he did extremely well with it, and this business, and he just went with it. But his business card was a bill. It was something like that. This is a $100 one, but it was like a $20 bill. And on the inside, he had his message. And I thought, wow. So when I lived in Spain, I did the same. I got a $20 euro bill. So I would fold that and I would leave that in different places, 20 euros. So I would leave it as tips. I'd go into petrol gas stations and have a little chat with people. Hi, how you doing? And these little chat, and I'd leave that and they go, oh, what's this? But when they opened it up, I'd have my little message on the inside. This particular message, part of it was in English, part of it was in Spanish. So I'm actually going to do the same with a £20 note. Now, what's the significance of a £20 note? Why would I do that? Well, think about it. It's money. What are we talking about? Saving money and making money, right? So inside, this is a real £20 note, but inside it will have my message. So I would walk around with that. I used to love it in Spain. I'd walk around with pockets full of these 20 euro bills. Now, when people use business cards, for those of you that do, when you give a business card out, you don't give one, do you? You give two or three. You just, have a card. Have another one for your wallet in case you lose it. Keep one in the car. We love giving business cards out. So imagine giving out £20 notes, 20 euro notes, $20 notes, okay, for you guys that I've got in the States. How easy is that? How much fun is that for a start? Hi, how you doing? Yeah, great. Would it be okay if I give you my business card? Most people are saving 20% on fuel. They're also making good money extra, good part-time money on the side as well. Would that be okay? Yeah, that'd be okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh yeah, taking your 20. And then they take this 20 note off you, and then on the inside is your message. And on the inside will be a message I'll put in there, will be my splash page web address and my email address. So it will say something like, most people, it will say something like, would it be okay if you save 20% on fuel, petrol, diesel, perfect for any engine? Most people respond back to me within 24 hours. What am I doing there? I'm asking for a command. Most people respond back to me within 24 hours. I'm going to respond back to this guy within 24 hours. How do I do that? Well, he's got a website address, but he's also got an email address. Now, here's the significance of the 20 in my mind. As I said, if you give somebody a business card and they go away and a week later, they look at the business card, they can't remember what it was you were talking about. What was the business opportunity about? Oh, and I'm trying to think what this guy was on about. He said something about NASA. He said something about, a scientist or something like that. I don't know. There might have been a cruise ship in it somewhere. I don't know if he was on holiday or he was a space cadet. I don't know. Can't remember. All right? That's the trouble with average business cards. Think about this one. My conversation is going to be about, would it be okay if you save 20% on fuel? If you fill up your tank, on average, you would save £20 from a full tank of fuel. 20%, £20. It's like 20/20 vision. I'm starting to see this. Can you see it? Okay, that person's more likely to do that and to remember that. I haven't confused them with all kinds of science and this. I don't go into a lot of that sort of stuff. No need. Do you know what people hate selling, but they love to buy, right? They want to buy something, but they want to know how are they going to save an average of 20%. You know, how are they going to save £20 on a tank of fuel? What you're saying, if I put one of those one of these little tablets, you put one of these little tablets in your car, one of these, and you'll save around £20 on a full tank of fuel. That makes sense, right? And I always nod as I'm talking. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Great. Let's get you started. You and I need to talk. We're busy now. Would it be okay if I give you my business card? Gonna get loads of them made up. Use a company in Birmingham. It's called Hello Print. I found Hello Print to be cheaper than Vistaprint. So you might have a printer around your way. Go and get a quote. You just say, look, I'd like this to look like a £20 note, same colour. On one side, on the other side, I can't do fraudulent things with it because on the other side, it's clearly my business card. And when I got these 20 ones done, they got like a bit of a sheen on them. So if they get wet, they don't get soggy. You can still read them. They still work. Okay? So where do you find people? We're talking about how to get business. Where do you find them? At a gas station, at a petrol station. What are you going to do? Take your card. Have plenty of cards on with you. Now, if you get those gas stations, those petrol stations where there's no attendance there, it's just, it's mainly pay at the pump, put your credit card in. Now, I don't want to use those because I can't sign up a pump, right? I can't get a petrol pump to join me. I want real people, so I'd rather press pay cashier and not put my card in, go in and have a chat, go and leave something. Because that person could be, in there for 8 hours thinking, oh, I've got stuck in this petrol station for 8 hours. Now, do you think they need a second income? Do you think they need to save fuel? How did they get there? They've got a car, right? Everyone we're talking to is pretty much ready for us. It's just unbelievable. But if you go into one of those gas stations and they've got a pump there where you put the card in, fold it again, slot it inside where you put the credit card and leave half of it hanging out. Because the next person that pulls up to that pump says, look at this, some idiots trying to put cash into the machine when it's a card. And he takes the £20 note he thinks is in there, I'll take the 20 note out. What's this? Oh, actually, opened it up. It's not £20 at all. God, this is clever. Would it be okay if you saved 20% on fuel? Does that make sense? Have a look at my website or send me an email. Got some good news waiting for you. Word it however you like. What do you think he's going to do? Throw it on the floor? Put it in his pocket. They're going to put it in their pocket. I actually did that with this little €20 one. I did a little test when I was living out in Spain. I put a little stone on it, left it on the floor, and watched from around the corner. Somebody came, kicked the stone, picked the note up. Why? Because they're picking up money. When was the last time somebody picked up your business card off the floor? Okay. I want to get these printed quick because next weekend I'm meeting my brother Tim at the NEC in Birmingham. We're going to go to the Classic Car Show. I'd like to have pockets full of £20 business cards with me. Why is that? Because most people that go to that show have driven there. Most people drive cars. Most people are paying too much money, right? Absolutely. Do you see how easy this business is, or it can be for you? But you've got to take some action. You've got to start. You want some business cards? Yes. Which ones do you want? Ordinary ones, plain, rubbish, tell nothing, or do you want some money ones that are going to make you some money? Think about it. I've put the idea in your head now. All you've got to do is go do it. Go do it. It's really simple. So that's where you get people, okay? And you find them in gas stations. Okay, would it be okay if you save 20 pounds on a full tank of fuel? Would that be okay? Oh yeah, absolutely. Good. We need to talk. There's your appointment. Don't pay at the pumps. You can't sign them up. Go inside. Okay. When you go inside, you go, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Well, you know how there's too much month at the end of the money? Well, tell me about it. Would it be okay if I give you my card? Most people are saving 20% on fuel with what I've got here, and they're also making a really good second income. Does that make sense? Well, yeah, great, have my card. How simple is that? So keep them folded, put them in slots, get that done. So as a summary, let's summarize, let's get this thing going. Summary, 2 words that you need to use and to learn. Most people, could you learn those 2 words? Of course you can. Most people. Try it. The more you do it, actually do it yourself. If you look at one of my previous videos, I did one the other week. It was actually for a week. It was 5 videos on how to do public speaking made easy. But on number 5, it showed you how I'm making my video today and how you can do it in public, in private, not in public. And you can actually rehearse what I'm trying to teach you now. You could rehearse it to yourself using your mobile phone on a video. And you say, well, I didn't come out that way. I said things wrong. I kept talking about NASA. You know what? You don't need to talk about NASA. If you talk about NASA to people, they just think you're a space cadet. They go, oh, this thing sounds too good to be true. It is true, but let them find out it's true after they've become a member, because that's when you absorb more information. I don't know whether you've picked that up, because when you first come into something, oh, that sounds a good idea, and you get started. But once you're in it, you tend to want to learn more information. You watch more videos. You want to know who the CEO is. You want to find out more information. And a lot more gets taken in because you want to know more. If you try and give people too much information in the early days, you've lost them. And it's another no. You don't want that, okay? So people say, I need to give them a presentation. No, I would change that. Change the word presentation to options. Give people options. If you give people 2 options, they normally pick one. Okay? Would you like to be a customer, or would you like it at retail? Would you like to pay retail prices, wholesale prices? You know, even a customer is a good price, by the way. As a customer, that costs approximately £4 to save 20. That's a pretty good deal. But if you become a free member like I did, it's a bit cheaper. And if you wanted to buy a larger amount for yourself, it's even cheaper still. It comes right down. Oh, right, okay. But it's options. Give people options, okay? And you could say to them, would you like to swap £30 for 120 back? Now, why did I say £30? Because it cost us $24 in the USA to get the product. When you put shipping and tax on top of that, it comes to £30. But it's still a fantastic deal. Would you swap, in America, $30 for $120 back? Well, yeah. Add the taxes. Don't give them any surprises. You know, be straight, be honest. And well, yeah, would you swap? No. Did you hear what I said then? I didn't say would you spend. But they go, no, I'm not spending anything. You're trying to get money out of my wallet. Would you swap £30 to get 120 back? Well, yeah. Be a bit silly not to, wouldn't I? Absolutely. Give them a choice. 4 words to learn. Well, you know how. Well, you know how it always rains on bank holidays. Well, you know how price keeps going up. The day after I'll send it a cheap price, the day after it goes up. Isn't that annoying? Yeah. Well, you know how. 4 words to learn. 5 words to learn. Another one. Does it make sense to? Does it make sense to? Does it make sense to save 20% on fuel? Yeah. Does it make sense to buy a wholesale rather than retail? Yeah, it makes sense. If you get used to using those words, does it make sense to? Yeah. You're immediately, getting involved with the 97% who make quick decisions because they want to feel safe and secure. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay, does it make sense to pay retail at the pump or wholesale? If you're paying $1.99 at the pump, you're only paying $1.60. Include them in that conversation. If the price pump was $1.99, you'd only pay $1.60. What, me? Yeah. Well, you're like me. You're most people. Most people only pay $1.60. Well, it hasn't been $1.60 for a long time. 2 nights ago, you might have noticed if you look at my Facebook, my little niece from Lorraine from Swindon was watching my post and said, I'm going to buy some of these. She's watching 2 or 3 times. I'm going to get some of these. Within 15 minutes, I got a little ping on my computer that told me that Lorraine had bought a pack for $24. By the time she pays taxes, it comes back and it's going to be £30. But she said, hey, I'm going to try this. If I can save money, all good. She's a busy little thing. She's got like 3 jobs on the go. She's got a little petrol Corsa. Yeah, that's quite good on fuel, but it's not as good as it could be, right? So now I'm going to send Lorraine, while she's waiting for the 9 days for it to come. It takes about 9 days on average. I was expecting it to be 2 weeks, but it wasn't. It was sooner. So I want to put one of these little tablets in a very tiny little jiffy bag for Lorraine, so she can put it straight in her car. So it's working. By the time she gets her tablets, something different, something's happening, So that's quite good. It's really simple. So stop using the 5 words that don't work. Stop using, would you be interested in? No, I wouldn't be interested. Well, how do you know? I haven't told you what it is yet. I just don't. No, it's not for me. We don't do those sort of things. Well, what sort of things? Well, we're too busy. And it's just the wrong 5 words. I've just got started in. Oh, well, you've just got started in something, so you want me to be a guinea pig and make some money out of me on the process. No. They're 5 words, but they're the wrong 5 words, okay? So if we can stop using those words, smile at people. When you're talking to them, smile. When people trust people who smile. Now, look at a baby. For the first 6 weeks of their life, not 6 months, for the first 6 weeks, baby doesn't do much, right? Except cry, want feeding, want changing. They say that people don't like change, except if you're a baby and you want your diaper changed, you want that changed. But baby don't do a lot for 6 weeks. But come week 6, try this out if you know a newborn baby. If you smile at a baby 6 weeks old, they smile back at you because they trust you. How soon do they learn that? Trust. A smile means you've got to trust someone. That's good. So what to say could go like this, okay? I hope you're writing this down, okay? Smile. People trust people who smile, right? Well, you know how there's always too much month at the end of the money? Oh, yeah. Would it be okay if you saved 20% on fuel and made a little extra money without any selling? Then stop talking. They go, yeah. You just said all the magic words. Would it be okay, it's like asking permission, if they save 20% on fuel? Well, they're still nodding, and earn a little extra money. Yeah, they need extra money because the bills are just in their mind all day long with what's going on at the moment without any selling. I haven't got out my way to sell anything at the moment, and I don't really want to. I just want people to look at my website, have a look at it. You can order direct, same as Lorraine did, and my niece, they're ordinary people. They go, just order directly from the website. It's really easy. Comes straight out of America, straight to you. Why would I want to have it sent to me and I've got to repackage it or send it on to you? It just comes straight. It's nice and easy. And they're nodding all the time. Yeah, that'd be good. So how easy is that? Would it be okay if you saved 20% on fuel and made a little extra money without any selling? Yeah, that'd be okay. Good. Then we need to talk. The appointment's made. I'm on my way somewhere. I'm a bit busy at the moment, and I'm sure you are too. Here's my card. Okay? Here's my card. Folded £20 note. Pop me an email, and I'll send you some information on my new part-time adventure. I didn't say business opportunity, I didn't say opportunity, I didn't say venture. I'll pop you some information on my new part-time adventure. Who knows where it's going to take me? I'm thrilled to bits with it, where it's gone so far. Does that make sense? That's what I'd say to him. Does that make sense? And I'm nodding. Going, yeah. Smile and nod. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. How long did that take? I'll read it again. I'm reading it as I'm saying it. Okay, have a look at this. You've said to them, would it be okay if you saved 20% on fuel and made a little extra money without any selling? They go, yeah. I said, great, we need to talk. But I'm on my way somewhere at the moment, and I can see you're really busy. So would it be okay if I gave you my card, a note, money, that's all they see at the moment is money. So you can pop me an email, just pop me an email. You're asking them to send you an email. Pop me an email so I can get some information back to you about my part-time adventure. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's great. Now, think about what I've done there. I've respected their time. I said I'm on my way somewhere, so I haven't got to sit there and do a presentation. Don't want to do presentations. Just want to give people two choices, retail or customer. Retail customer or member. Simple. Retail or wholesale. Give them two choices. So I've respected their time. I know they're busy. There's probably cameras in their building, in their shop, in their garage, watching them. So they can't be chatting to people for too long. So I've respected their time. I didn't ask them for a phone number. I never ask people for their phone number. And they go, oh, wow, in the past we've always done that. We've always been trained, get the number. No, stop doing that. In my view, I've got another video coming out next week to teach you, hopefully, how to sponsor people, how to build an organisation globally without pressing people to give them your link. I've got a way that people ask me for my link. Everyone that's involved in my Accelerate business so far, and I've sponsored a few because some of you have got your 3 filled up underneath me before you even did anything, because I got them in and they just slid underneath you. I love that plan. That's great. I got the bonuses on them, which was nice. Over $230 in the first 3 weeks part time. Never sold a thing. That's quite useful. What I want to do with that $230 odd, whatever I like. It's great. It's not rich, but it ain't bad, is it? I didn't do a lot for it. So I haven't asked them for a phone number. So it stops them being defensive, okay? I gave them my card, and on that card was my website and my email address and my name. I always put my name on the card, so they know who's ringing. Hi, yeah, I met this guy. What was your name again? My name's on the card. It's Paul Angus. How you doing? So always have your name on the card. And at the end of it, I said, does that make sense? And I nodded when I was talking to them. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so all the time they're going, yes, 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 yes. Do you think there's a good chance of me getting a customer? Absolutely. Do you think there's a good chance of me getting a member? For life? Absolutely. What does that give us? It gives us a new friend, and it gives us a residual income. A new partner. I always treat people as partners. Some of these titles, I don't like these titles, but I just think if you're working with me, you're a partner, okay? So I only make a point of signing up people that want to join. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Well, that's obvious. No, not really. Some people do it, go out their way to go, I need him in the business. I need her in the business. She just knows everybody. Do you know what? I only want to sign up people who want to join. So if someone's asking me, can I have your link? The same as Matt did in Australia. Matt's involved in the other business I'm with. He's got an old pending founder position in non-passive. And he got back and said, I've just noticed your things you're doing, some of your posts on Facebook, you got this fuel thing. And it says it's available in Australia. Can you send me something? Yeah. Pop me the best email address, because people have 2 or 3 email addresses. Send me the best email address you want me to send this to, and I'll send it to you. And I'll send you. And he looked at it and said, "This is great. I want to do this. We're struggling out here on fuel. It keeps going up. Did you send me a link?" I said, "No, I didn't, Matt." He said, "Oh, right. Will you send me a link? I'd like to join." Yeah, okay then. See, how hard was that? He's asking me for a link. He's now in my business. He's now my partner times 2. And we have video calls because obviously it's the other side of the world, and it's great. We have these video calls, and we have little recorded ones that you can use on WhatsApp and Messenger. We just press a record and we chat for about a minute or 2 different times of the day, so we can get that and communicate. So it doesn't matter if someone's on the other side of the world; they can be with you in this. They've got the same challenges you've got. They want to make and save money. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So I only sign up people that want to join. I never pressurise anybody into joining. If it gets into a conversation where, I'm not sure about this, it's not one of those things, it's not one of those companies, it's not one of those silly things, and so I don't get into all that. If it starts to go that way and there's too many questions, do you know what I say? It's probably not for you. That's it. I'm not rude, but it's probably not for you. It's been great to catch up with you. and go. They go, oh, because the fear of loss, you can give them the world, but if they don't want it, don't make them have it. I don't convince anyone. I'm not in the convincing business. I'm in the saving business. I'm in show business. I just show people my business. They either want it, they either want it or they don't want it, and that's okay either way. Okay. The more you talk about saving money, the more people trust you. That's what it's about. It's about trust. Get people to trust you. A customer will want to stay on the tablets. Why would they want to go back to paying retail? They just wouldn't. It makes sense to buy at wholesale. So for the first time, somebody probably join you as a customer. That's great. They spend in £30, $30. You look in your back office, you're going to get $7 for that. You've made a commission. What have they done? Looked at your post, your free post on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you're going to do your posts. Okay? I would suggest you make some posts, get something done. But after that, what are they going to want to buy? They're going to want to buy a bigger discount, and if they can get the same product again and make some money, wouldn't that be advantageous? Absolutely. So, final thoughts on time management. Let's crack on with this. If you're in a job, you know what time you start, you know what time you're finishing. So now you've got your new home-based part-time adventure. Okay, what time are you going to start? What are your opening times, roughly? Sometimes you might have to work around children, you might have to work around shifts in work. So it's important that you have some guidelines with yourself to say, well, I'm going to be available, I'm going to do an hour and a half a night, I'm going to do 2 hours a night, I'm going to do something to get adverts out, whatever it is, answer questions, get people signed up, whatever. My suggestion is, here's my suggestion, Monday to Saturday, hours to suit you, okay? No calling after 9 p.m. You know why? Because it's rude. People at the other end, if you're not in business and you're calling them to talk about business, they just feel it's rude. Why? Because they've been at work all day, they've had dinner, and they're now winding down. And now you've distracted them and disturbed them, and it's 9:20 at night. Again, who's calling this time of night? Have you ever had a knock on the door late at night? What's the first thing you think of? God, this is bad news. What's going on? Or call late at night. What's up? Because you're winding down, you're thinking, it's the end of your day, and you just want to relax. So, it's good manners not to call people after 9 p.m. at night unless it's pre-arranged. If someone does shift work and say, well, I'm not going to be home till 10, would it be okay if I call you then? Yeah, of course it is. I don't go to bed till midnight or after. That's fine. But get approval. Have some respect for people's time, okay? And I would suggest also, take Sundays off. I haven't worked Sundays for a long time. I don't want to work Sundays for a long time. Do you? Really? Most people don't want to work 24/7, 7 days a week. Especially if they work in retail, they want that time off. They want a day, like I do. I just want a day where the only people I speak to on that day is my family, my daughters, my nieces. My sister calls me Sunday morning. She's always the first person to call. And like this Sunday just gone, I have video calls with my daughters. One lives in England, one lives in Ireland. Well, I want to speak to them. I want to see them, So if I can't see them physically, I want to see them on video. So that's what we do. So take Sundays off. And another reason that it's more fun. Because if you're working around the clock, and I've done this in the past, and it's ruined things for me. I won't go into too much for it, I tell you, because it'll break your heart. It broke mine. So don't make the stupid mistakes of having to work around the clock to get something off the ground. You don't need to. Working smarter is much better than working harder. And if you're available at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night for phone calls and things like that, it makes you look desperate. And you're not desperate. You're in a business that's absolutely thriving. You're in a business that's going to save people money. You're in a business that's going to make them money without them doing any selling or even any recruiting. Okay, so just try and keep it all simple. That's my suggestion. If you want to work Sundays, it's up to you, but it doesn't look good. Okay, it's not attractive to people. It won't attract people. And if you look at successful people, they're calm, right? Normally they don't work Sundays. Okay, but you need to take control of your time, or it can cause arguments in your house with your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife, and then because it causes too many arguments, it becomes not worth doing and you quit. And that's a shame, because this is a business that's certainly ongoing. It doesn't matter what price fuel goes up or down to, this is going to be ongoing, and your residual income is going to be ongoing. So have you noticed throughout my 3 recordings, I haven't mentioned that this is network marketing. I haven't mentioned any levels that you get paid down to, and 50% matching bonuses, which is going to be really good. I haven't mentioned talking about incomes, how much certain incomes you can make on it, and it goes up to some staggering amounts. But if you watch some of the videos, if you watch the video that's coming out in my update email over the next couple of days, you'll see the staggering amount. We could make a month in this business what people would love to make a year, because of the way the marketing plan. All I've talked about is savings. So if you just talk about your savings, talk about your part-time adventure, not your part-time business opportunity. So, I don't want to get in business. It's another one of those things. Not your part-time venture, your part-time adventure. This is an adventure. It's great. It's something to be easy, but just keep it simple. But talk about savings. And I touched on the Sunday thing there. So I got some new rules. Okay. Personally for me, not for you, but for me. At 9 p.m. every night, I turn everything off. I just want to wind down. I've just moved recently, got a lovely little place, and I've just got Netflix again. I love Netflix. And I go, so I don't watch all Dead Enders and all the soaps. I'm not interested in them. But I like movies. I get a lot out of a movie. So I love some of the Netflix movies and things like that. So come 9 o'clock, I want to wind down. Why? Because I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work at the moment, but not for much longer, which is great. Okay, so I won't just be having pockets and pockets full of these as business cards. I'll be having a few of those in my pocket as well. They're real both sides. Okay, so I turn everything off. Absolutely no business on a Sunday. I don't want to do any business. I don't need to answer any calls. There's nothing really that urgent that I need to answer on a Sunday that won't wait until Monday. Okay, so the other Sunday, a couple of weeks ago, I have a lie-in, as you can imagine. I get up early all week to go to work. I finish early in the morning as well. I finish by about 9:30, 10 o'clock latest, and I come home and I have a sleep for about 3 hours. And I actually have a better sleep in the mornings because it's so quiet where I live than I do over night time. That's just my body clock, and it suits me. I get more done. But I was having Sunday off, and I'd got a cup of tea and having a cup of tea in bed. And I'm thinking, hey, that's nice, just relaxing. And it was so nice. I could hear some birds going. And then my phone rings. I think, really? And it's my friend and a member. A friend for 25, 30 years who knows I don't work on a Sunday. So I pressed delete, and it rang again. And I pressed delete, and it rang again, about 3 times. I thought, got to be kidding me. And then 4 minutes later, another friend and member called me. So I pressed delete and it rang again. I pressed delete and it rang again. Another 3 calls. I think surely they know it's Sunday, And the clocks might have gone back and we've got an extra hour of sleep. It's still Sunday. No need for it. And to be honest with you, do you know what it did? Ruined my day. My plans changed. My aggravation levels went higher. My daughter called. She said, "Hi, Daddy. You said me about aggravated. What's up?" And I said, "God, these calls. They know it's Sunday. They know I don't work. Why do they need to do that?" And they don't. And she said, "Just turn the phone off." I said, "You know what? No, I'm not going to turn the phone off. Why should I do that? If I turn my phone off, my sister can't call me. If I turn my phone off, you can't call me and have a video call. You're my kids, and I'm going to do that." So people just need to be a little bit respectful. And if they're not, this is what happens from now on. If I get calls on a Sunday, that person's blocked. Blocked from the telephone, blocked from Messenger, blocked from WhatsApp. So the only access is going to be email. And I'll answer that when I get around to it, probably Monday or Tuesday. So, Bob, David, no more calls. Okay? Don't do it. You're going to get blocked. But you've got to respect people's time, in life and in business, it'll go a long way. So that's just my suggestions. Don't have a ruined day. Enjoy the times. Keep it real simple. Think about this. Think about what you would say on the inside of your card. It could be different. And if you want to put your phone number on there, hey, put your phone number on there. Personally, from previous experience, I used to have drunks ring me that found the card in a hotel lobby somewhere, drunk on a Saturday night or a Sunday. Tell me what it's all about. What is it? And you don't need that. I'd rather give my phone number to people that I know, like, and trust once they've joined me in business. Okay, so if you've ever looked at some of my previous videos, you'll know I focus on something called don't live in years, live in visits, because we don't know how long we've got. Okay, now, as I said briefly on that one, I'm 63. And they reckon the average man lives till he's 80. Let's say that's true. I hope it isn't. 98, 99 sounds good to me. But let's say that's true. That's only 17 years. That's 17 summers and 17 visits if I go somewhere exotic once a year. That's not a lot, is it? It's terrible. So we can't live in years, because who knows what's going to happen 12 months from now. Things do. Things change. Health changes. Things change. But what we can do is have more visits, like what I call like this, video visits. So once you've watched this, think about who you'd like to call. You could be your mum, your dad, your auntie, your sister, your brother, your cousin, and just have a little video call and say, hi, how you doing? I haven't seen you for ages. I know you're 63 miles away, but there you are. Looking good, by the way. Whatever. Have some visits. Make life a little bit more interesting, a little bit worthwhile. What are you doing these days? Oh, I've got a fabulous little part-time adventure. Saving loads of money on fuel. Oh yeah, I saw something on your Facebook about that. What's that about? Well, would it be okay if you save 20% on fuel? Oh, yeah, of course it would. Well, I'll send you something on an email. Have a look at it. It's great. It's saving me money. Car's getting better and better. The more I drive the car, the engine's getting cleaner and cleaner. It's got to be good for the environment, right? Yeah, fantastic. Let's get back to talking about family. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So I thank you very much for your time. This is number 3. It's the last one in the series. You've got 1, 2, and 3. How to change 5 bad words into 5 good words, and how to get lots of yeses instead of lots of no's. And super little things that you can learn. 2 words, 4 words, 5 words. Doesn't take much, does it? It's quite easy to learn. You can actually write them down on a 6x5 card and put it in your sun visor. So when you get out the car, I think, let me remember what it was I was going to say when I go in with my card. And get some cards, start some activity. If you want to work with me, it doesn't matter if you're not in my business. If you want to keep in touch with me, incomedriven@gmail.com. And if you want to go on my update email and come out periodically, that's great. I'll include you and everything like that. Just because I don't make money off you doesn't mean to say we shouldn't work together. Okay, I like being in business, and I like people. So I like people that are like-minded, business-minded, want to get stuff done, want to help other people. They're the best kind, you know. There's a little saying I use quite often. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll let you get on now. I'm going to get on with the rest of my day and see who else I can talk to and see who else I can help save some money on fuel, because it's a big topic out there, right? So thank you very much. Speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.